Hi guys, so today we're making a really amazing San Miguel gluten-free beer braised chicken recipe. It's perfect for spring, it's absolutely delicious. I know you're gonna love it. So I'm just finely slicing my onions into rings, just roughly. Don't worry if they're not perfect. So the first thing is preparing the chicken. So I've got my chicken thighs here. You've got to make sure that they're dry. This is really important. So moisture and oil just don't go together in the pan to create crispy skin. So you've got to make sure your chicken thighs are dry, and then you want to season them with salt. You might think this is quite a lot of salt, but believe me, it needs it. I'm going to add a bit of butter to the pan, and we want this over quite a nice high heat. So we're looking for a really nice sound when the chicken gets the technical terms. When the chicken goes into the pan, this is how we get a really nice golden crispy skin. We're going to do the chicken thighs 2 at a time to give them space to brown in the pan. You don't want to overcrowd the meat, otherwise it starts to steam and it doesn't get crispy. Ooh, look at that. There is nothing better than butter fried chicken. Look at that. Ready to flip. So the chicken is amazing and golden, and now we're going to use the same pan to caramelize the onions in. So we want the onions to soften and sweat and become nice and translucent, but not caramelize too quickly. So the heat's got to be like a quite nice medium. I'm also going to add in a few cloves of bashed garlic, just whole is fine, and a few sprigs of rosemary. I'm also going to add some bay leaves, which add a really nice kind of woodiness. Rosemary and bay leaves are like the key things in this recipe. They add a lot of flavor. So I've got some fresh grated nutmeg as well, which has just got such a nice smell. It's gonna add a really nice earthiness. I'm gonna add that as well now. So we're also gonna use my favorite spice, smoked paprika. I love it and find an excuse to use it in everything. And I'm just gonna add we're gonna go with 2 teaspoons. So now the onions are nice and soft, I'm gonna add the chicken back into the pan, and then we're gonna add some of the key ingredients. So I'm adding a really nice, zesty, fresh, gluten-free beer to the chicken now. And all of those wonderful hoppy flavors are gonna get into the chicken. It's gonna slow cook, it's gonna be tender. It's gonna be so good. So we've got 1 bottle and a bit extra, plus a bit for me. And then also a bit of stock as well. Just basically because I want to have the rest of this beer. So we're going to pop the lid on, and we're going to bring this to the boil, and then we're going to pop it into the oven. So before it goes into the oven, let me not forget, we're going to add a tin and a half of white beans. And you can use any beans you choose, just make sure that you wash them. So I've preheated my oven, so I'm now going to add my chicken into the oven to slow cook. So I'm going to leave that to cook for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours, just until the chicken is nice and slow cooked and super tender. So the chicken's been slow cooking, and I'm now going to pop it out of the oven and add the greens. Okay, that smells amazing. And now I'm just going to roughly chop through my greens, pop them into the pot, and it's going to go back in the oven. So I'm now just going to pop on the lid and put that back in the oven for about 10 minutes, just so they wilt down, and then it's going to be ready to serve. Ooh, all those nice fresh greens on the top, looking very vibrant. If I move it too quickly, it's just gonna fall off the bone. That's how tender it is. It just smells amazing. You can really smell the kind of beer coming off the chicken. It's adding like this kind of nice depth of flavor, or smell, should I say. So excited! This is definitely a dish to share with friends, but it's also delicious the next day if you have any leftovers. My mates here are miming, but they're definitely enjoying this recipe. I'm sorry I didn't invite you guys. I would have if I could have. Do be sure to subscribe. Click the link below for the recipe and the full method and everything you need to know. And I'll see you again next time.